All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Let me open this on my phone just so I can. There we go. Ron, if you click on the word comments on the right on StreamYard, then you'll be able to see.
I just remember that I can add my channels to this, so I'm just for a moment adding.
Oh, fantastic.
The YouTube. I saw just in the top now.
Wonderful.
So it's going to stream on our YouTube too.
Oh, terrific. Good.
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
And maybe see if there's a way to share it. We can share it on our group on Facebook too.
Okay.
Where's the link to share this? I don't know. Well, that will do.
Good morning. Good morning. I hope everyone had a beautiful weekend and that you feel wonderful and rested, and welcome to this new precious day, everyone.
Good morning, Jordan. Nice.
Oh, hi, Jordan. Good morning. I've been so looking forward to this conversation. Ron is an absolutely, as many of you have met him and some of the previous coffee with the collective conversations, is such an incredible, astounding soul. And I love that I get to just chat with you, and Michael's going to be on tomorrow. So
right.
Ron and Michael are the founders of New Earth Ascending. And they've both had such incredible spiritual journeys, like many of you here. And they are incredible beings and incredible educators and guides, really, really grounded and knowledgeable. And maybe we could start by talking a little bit about this launch with New Earth Ascending and your programs, because your hypnosis program is remarkable. And I know there are a lot of friends here in the community that are very interested in exploring hypnosis modalities, because there are many people here that have a base in QHHT and they can love to continue to evolve their practices.
Yeah. So do you want me just to share about IQH?
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the modality of IQH and both its genesis and its evolution would be really, really incredible.
Yeah. So originally when I started the hypnosis journey, I also started with quantum healing hypnosis technique. This is how we were initiated to all this new realm of guided visualizations and just all the quantum field and the information from Dolores was like so enriching for my life. I just want to say, like, it's very early here in this morning, so I can hear my voice still have the morning voice. So maybe I'll use it to do more my hypnotherapy voice to
lull us into that.
Just deeper.
Eventually, Ron's reading the phone book. He's just reading the phone book to us. And we're like, oh, great.
Yeah. So good morning, everyone. So I will continue my little story about our journey with hypnosis. So Michael and myself, we both started at the same time. It was a journey full of synchronicity to guide us to understand that this is what we need to do, to study the technique that Dolores created. And it started and shifted our life rapidly. Like from the moment that we started it, we just watched in 1 month all the videos, and that month we already have all the practice sessions, the 25 that you needed to do then. And literally from that moment, we had so many just clients, word to mouth. Like it just became so quick and transformative. I know it's not the case for everyone, and it's was very special for us. It was really told to us right away in my first session. it was told to me that it was orchestrated for us to do this work. So it was like really, and I could feel it because the level of synchronicities that came to guide us that that's what we need to do didn't really left much room for like doubt. It was like,
Mm,
okay, let's do it. It's like,
mm,
even though Michael even had resistance in the beginning, and I kind of needed to convince him to like do it with me. Um, so that was really powerful. And in the first, I would say 2 3 years, we were so busy. In like, I think we did hundreds of sessions in those years. Like, we were doing 2 sessions a day, even though the sessions are so long. We had days that we did two. We had, yeah, I would say, yeah, I don't know how many hundreds of sessions we did in those years, but also very quickly, when we learned the hypnosis, we also watched many sessions. I think you learn a lot from watching, from doing, from seeing other people.
mm,
And there's not a lot of watching of Dolores doing it, but we had the, when we just started, Alba was starting to put videos of her session, Alba Weinheim,
mm,
online. So we learned a lot just in the beginning from seeing her, having an example, seeing what's possible. And then we also were introduced to the clearing of the entities, seeing that there are other energies and other ways to do it. And for me, it was very clear because in my first session, there was already energy attachment that needed to be cleared. And because I watched videos before, I had some idea of how to do it.
yeah.
Um,
Can you
and
speak to Ron? Can you speak to your approach, yours and Michael's approach when that arises in a session, and how do you approach that and work with that?
yeah, our approach right now completely shifted by doing this for so many,
Yeah.
like, and also by developing the IQ Edge recalibration, that now it's the faster modality, that we're doing sessions for in 1 hour and a half or 2 hours and getting the same
Mm,
um, incredible results. Um,
mm,
so what we now, the way that we look at it much broader in a way. We understand that everything is consciousness,
mhm,
that we, like a stone can have consciousness, a metal can have consciousness, every part of our body have consciousness. um, in energetics, there's many forms of consciousness, thought forms, emotion
mm,
can have like some type of density that can have a consciousness.
mm,
um, so the way that we look at it right now, we are allowing the being to be a lot of parts that have consciousness, or even aspect of the person. It can be the inner child, can be a spirit guide, a future self, another energy that comes in and affect the overall totality of the energy body.
mm,
And we look at all um, the makeup of the person and if it's working in harmony. So what we're doing right now is we're checking what in the makeup of the person
mm,
creating the suffering, or not communicating well, or not being in alignment with the overall energy flow that needs to be happening,
mm,
and what it's creating. So in that way, we don't, like, what we discover that when we find that there is something in the body, we can just check what it is and communicate with it directly to see what it is.
mhm,
So it's almost like we take the idea of entity, or the idea of, I don't know, something, um, um, anything is almost like, can be like an, let's say, an entity of its own. Even if it's a thought form, it can be an entity of its own.
mhm,
So what we're doing is like we're taking it all and we are remembering that all of it is part of source. All of it has within it the creation from source, and we remind it its own creation.
mm,
We remind it the source of that. So no matter how, maybe how much they forgot what they made of, if and they are very angry or very upset, or have stories to tell us about how they were created,
mhm,
and we just kind of like holding it like, oh, that's another sweet one that forgot. what they are, and we're just going to remind it what they are. And
Okay, I love that. I love that position. It's another sweet one that has forgot. So, in this space with you and with Michael, do you have the experience of their remembering, or does it? Then what happens from that point of view?
yeah, of course. Yeah, we know everyone can remember,
Mm.
and we don't let go until they do. So they definitely remember. Um, and it's like
Okay, that's
everyone, it's a
tears
little
in my
bit
eyes. That is so beautiful. No, I'm tearing.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's a little bit different with each one of them, because one of them can come like
Yeah,
like and get really funny, and
I get
when you
funny.
yeah, it does, because when you remember what it is and you know that it's possible, and that's so you remember that it's a game, it's a show, it's not something that
Right.
um and when you really sit without any fear about it, they
Mm,
don't have any way to interact with you. The only way that another energy can basically get attracted to you if there's under base or undercurrent of fear within you that they're able to resonate with. So
mhm,
then there's a match. So what's basically the way to really do it is to hold no fear. You have and when you do remember it, and when you remember it, and when we do it so many times, it's just become like a joke in a way. When that start to come out, it's almost like a joke. So it's negotiating like um, you like negotiate it. Everyone, it's a different dialogue to see what they need to remember, how to remind them, what is the um, point that will be attracted to them to want to do. Basically, you negotiate a new contract, a new dialogue. You want to show them that you want to help them. You can take them to a place maybe that they will be able to feed, like you learn what they like to feed off like energy of anger, and then I don't know, and I'm like, oh, that's what you like. You want to like feed out of this. You need this energy, and you probably feel that for yourself. You probably feel also stuck in this little body.
mhm,
Don't you want? I can help you now to go somewhere else that you can have as much energy as you want and feel freedom. Don't you want to feel something like that?
mm,
And they're like, okay, maybe yes, maybe I want to feel something like that. So when they start to have to like basically because they also have level of free will,
mhm,
um, when they start to agree to what you offer them, you can really negotiate and to help them remember. You
mm,
also remind them that they have that spark of that source within them, and we do a process. We use a lot the bubble of light in our healing, different way of healing. So we're able to bring it into the bubble of light, and we can bring it up so we can learn from it. So
mm,
the recalibration session now is also like we're using the all our senses, or like the screen of the mind in like I it's really like you put the multi, how do you call it, the virtual reality
the VR goggles on,
like
right? Yeah.
you in it, you just kind of get immediately to learn what it is and to have and it comes as a flash of information and insights, and um, so sometimes it's not even, you don't have to, you just need to learn enough of it so you learn the lessons from it. What we want to always empower when we're doing those clearing is how the person um, was available for it, what in their life created it, so they won't do it again. They were, and many times those energies coming into your body from some level of opening, and the opening can happen because you experience some level of pain, of fear, of frustration, or I don't know, lost of some kind,
Mm,
loneliness,
mhm,
and that created, or sometimes it's just where took substance or we're a little bit out of the body, and and then there was an openness for something to come in. Sometimes it's a surgery that happened. Sometimes it's like um, yeah, so there's so many ways that suddenly you
mhm,
have a little bit of opening and something can come in, and
mhm,
you want to learn so you can be more clear and sovereign and clear with your energy
mhm,
of what was happening then, that the emotion, the the event that caused it to happen.
Mhm.
So the learning is important. The most important is the learning. I think that's why we're here eventually.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
And do you have clients that then stay on with you and Michael to learn how to it's more than keeping your vibration high. That's sort of the outcome of your own work and your practices. Do you help them in with the aftercare? Do you work with students in that way also, or clients that come to you? And Patty, I see your question. I'm going to ask. I'll make sure I ask it. Okay.
So it's really depend, is there's people that are, I do with them one session and I don't hear from them for a really long time, and maybe like few years down the road I will hear from them again, and then they will update me about all the things that unfolded from the sessions, and we'll just pick it up from there. Many times the integration, to be honest, is just very easy and they just have the up leveling, they're ready to continue to do whatever they need to do, and I normally don't need to hear from them much more. They just
Mhm.
like going on their own um, expansion way of being and doing whatever they came here to do. And then sometimes there's a weaving. We meet again, somehow down the road.
So,
Um,
so based on what you were sharing, is the heart then of the spiritual path and the healing path really one of becoming fearless, which is knowing yourself? Is that really what is?
Fearless, and also eventually it's fearless, but it's also having the skills and the tools and getting your life purpose to know what you came here to do. I think the mission eventually is to learn to listen, to be in alignment to the guidance every moment,
Hmm.
and then fearlessly following it.
Mhm.
Because it's fun. It's easy to say no fear, but what does it mean, no fear? It's no fear doing the next thing that you're feeling called to do, and it's not just fear. It's not being shy, not holding guilt, not holding regret, not holding. There's way more sticky energies that causing the density,
Mhm.
to like the human experience. Um, Judgment, clearing your own judgments about yourself, about others. That's a big one.
Yeah.
So I think it's more just than fears. There's more other thought forms and emotions that are sticky and heavy.
Mhm.
Fear is just a big one, putting them all together. That all of them may be born out of fear.
Mm.
There's only fear and love. If we would play that game of like, there's only two. You can say it's just clearing fear, but there's many layers, of
Right,
course.
right. So those are like the many faces of fear. And so
Yeah,
to start to, and I'm asking this for those that may be new to this conversation, or new to their path, or new to that inner longing to feel free of unnecessary suffering.
yeah,
That's a place to start, is that
yeah,
those thoughts that we have in our mind that have us feel contracted, right? Anything from comparison to judgment to criticism to complaints about and it's always about ourselves, others, or the world. It's like
yeah,
there's kind of like three straightforward categories. We could just, as a starting point, we can start to look at any thoughts we have that are of a contracting nature around ourselves, others, and the world. And those
yeah,
are great places to begin your conscious journey of taking inventory
yeah,
and questioning what you
yeah.
believe true.
And you mentioned like unnecessary suffering, and I don't know if that's actually exist. No, I know that there's unnecessary length of suffering. People can prolong how much they
That's
suffer,
that's
but
more
the
specific.
suffering is really important for the part of the learning. I guess we came here to suffer a little bit and to learn from it.
I
And then, but I do notice that people are in a way choosing to have their suffering longer, how much they resist for their healing, creating longer suffering that what's maybe some
mhm.
needed to experience, or suffering it in a, again, in a loop, in a pattern of again and again until they
Yes.
um and that's kind of the opportunity to shift the mind between seeing it as, oh, that happened to me again, it must be reinforcing all my negative thoughts,
Mhm.
or it can be, oh, it's happening again. what now else I need to learn from it. It's really like, how can I see this as an opportunity to learn from, so it won't happen again. It's not just to enforce, and that's what happens when people prolonging their suffering. They have their life path, they
Mm,
get the trauma. Trauma is important to kind of catalyze what they needed to clear that is deeper. Maybe they came with it in the past life. Maybe that's what their lesson this life that they chose to learn, even if it came from another place. Um, and that the trauma is kind of the base thing to kind of, okay, it's happening early childhood. It's something that it's called the root core, the root trauma,
mhm,
that people are dealing with maybe this life.
mhm.
And um, that's something you chose. That's the suffering that no matter what, you chose to experience it. It's in your cards, it's in your contract.
Mhm.
um, but then after that, when you have the opportunity for healing it, you'll meet something similar to it that will trigger it again.
Yeah.
And some people will say like, oh, you see, that man is so bad, and this man is so bad, and this man is so bad.
Mhm.
And they'll put it all the blame on those other people that kind of came here to play this part of the villain to trigger those parts.
Yeah.
And when that's, you have the opportunity to look at it and like, okay, can I now hold a compassion to this person, to myself, to the event? It's like that now moment of looking it from another perspective
Mm.
to get the lesson.
Mhm.
And I think that's the work that we're doing. Um, if you look of what is my role and my job, and you say when people come to me in a more for a mentorship or an ongoing um, integration that you asked before,
Mhm.
is for dealing with those things that comes up that's so hard to change our perspective about, that are so deep and so painful and so frustrating that you don't know how to um, get out of the depth of it. And I think we all experience many times it in many ways. Um,
Yeah.
and and it's this, and it's more than that, because when you start to do this work, you start to clear things that are ancestral, that are collective, that
Mm.
are, you can clear from your DNA. The last thing that I worked with, my one of my people that I mentored, after the session, what was coming up for her, it was all the programming of what was wars on the planet, like from her DNA, like the
Wow.
coding and the suffering from wars, that her wasn't just her soul. I guess it's way more collective now at this
Mm.
time.
Mm.
So it's an interesting to see how deep it goes and how
Yeah.
much we heal the collective consciousness and like this unity. You experience it in a personal way, but it's something really for the collective. Um, yeah. Okay.
Ron, if someone is new on this path, where would you, two things, what would you say is one of the most important foundations for the spiritual path? That's like a non-negotiable, an essential. And number two, how soon would you suggest perhaps someone explore a hypnosis session,
Yeah.
um, when they're just sort of newly awakening to that yearning to feel free of prolonged unnecessary suffering?
Yeah. I think the first thing that I want to say is just learning deeply compassion and unconditional love. That's really, I feel, there. And forgiveness. Like that's, if we talk just principle, if you are practicing forgiveness, practicing gratitude, practicing um, everly growing, loving yourself and finding the love to what is, that's where you like start to initiate your really and also I think the awakening and the spiritual path start with an honest prayer, and honest prayers start because of the dark night of the soul.
Mm,
So it's a deep place within you that you decide to be honest, that you decide to take down all those walls and things that you just like kind of you were tired of it already, and you asking not from a begging place, but just like you're wanting support. And maybe sometimes it started a little bit a begging place, and it's not a bad thing, but it's just like because it's true, it's honest, but it's the honesty that it's important.
I like begging in prayer, like 10 out of 10. I want this 10 out of 10. Please, please, just guide me. Just guide me to the right next step. That's often,
Yeah.
and you can feel, friends, when you're like, begging is a good place.
Yeah, yeah. There's the place where it's convoluted with the begging is because sometimes the begging can be um, there's a way that is
There's a
kind
way
of
to beg. There's a
there's
right
a ways to
way to
beg. There's a way to beg. Beg with gratitude. Beg with knowing it's okay. Because in a way, sometimes the begging can also open to other influences that are not actually of the highest to also come in. Because you're so begging and you're open to something, you just want support, you can make a contract or you receive support from a lower energy that is not the highest. So this is why there's a little bit convoluted way of how to um, pray in a way for your support that is not from that place of accepting help from something that is not of the highest good. Um, so
How well, Ron, if you don't mind sharing, like, how would you guide if you were mentoring someone and this question arose? How would you instruct or invite someone to really place that request powerfully with earnestness, right, and reverence?
yeah,
How would you invite? How would you suggest someone make that request?
yeah, I think there is something about self-responsibility
Mm.
and self-realization of how I created what I'm experiencing, not coming from a place of blame or from a place that you give your power away to something external that did it. From if you're doing it from a place that you're like, show me, like you said, you said, Sajbil, show me what I need to know. So that would be, um, there's something about I'm part of it. I want to learn. I want to get out of it. I'm open. I'm open for truth, praying for the truth, praying for the highest, like even if it's hard to know and hard to receive, and it's to bring up some of our past, some shadows, some darkness, um, being open to the knowledge, being open to know, being open to, um, and also um, just from the love, from the appreciation, from the appreciation for higher power, from the praying for the energies of unconditional love, like really tapping to those energies that you want to pray for, and knowing what you're like going to the highest goes to when you pray. Yeah, I
Beautiful.
guess.
Beautiful. I'm going to rewind a little to Pat. So Patty,
Yeah.
Christina, and RJ, I want to cover your comments and questions. Patty's question is, let me rewind here. Patty says, my ears perk up when you say everyone can remember that you were working with, but what about someone like me who has never been able to go into a deep enough hypnotic state to access the subconscious mind and the way QT practitioners describe it?
Yeah, thank you for asking. That's a wonderful question. And so this is why we created the IQ8 recalibrations. Because we completely shifted the way that I will explain it in this way. Everyone have memories, feelings, ideas, thoughts, visualization. All of those things are very, very natural for us. We're using it all the time. If I'll ask you, even just to think about a dog or a dog that you remember, you can come up with a dog that you know, and you can tell me a little bit about it. And there is a way to work in very and we call it the alpha state, the alpha brainwave. You don't even need to go so deep in order to have so much insight and information and reflection and deep emotions, memories. And as you go with even just things that happen this life, and you go a little bit deeper into those things will open up and they will become more clear and more real and will come more to the surface. And you will see there's so much work can happen. We're now doing the session sitting down, literally, as I said before, just putting the goggles, the virtual reality goggles. We're just going to see what most important right now in your life, and that from this we can go and explore um, whatever need to rise and whatever energy need to be communicated with. And what we discover is the body is hold all of it, all the information. A lot of this you will just start to feel from when there's, for example, a certain memory or emotion coming up. You would start to feel where in your body, and you will feel like a tension or something thick or something soft, or you'll feel the feeling in your body that shifted. And and then from the body we're going to see what it is and communicate with it, and to see um, that will be just with trusting your intuition. The way to really, really um, get this information is honesty and feeling safe. That's it. If you're finding practitioner that you feel safe with, that you feel that you can open up and be honest, and he and the practitioners knows to guide and already um, yeah, and that's basically why you will feel safe, is because also the practitioner is already embodied enough in their own way to help you feel safe. And so I think there's really no one that cannot remember. Um, and you're talking about also, there's two things that kind of you're asking about remembering. There's with your own remembering and reminding different parts of yourself. And your own full remembering, it might be a little bit of a process as well. So just don't give up. Just continue trying. Don't lower yourself for what you can or cannot. I had people that come to me that it didn't work for them with other people, and then suddenly they come to my session and it's like they wouldn't believe that and the funny thing is, many times they would even come back and will say, like, I think I made it all up. So when the ego comes back, might even make you doubt again. So it doesn't really matter how. It's important to just trust, continue trying and continue trusting and leaning into it. I think that yeah, processes.
Patty's follow-up question is, does that apply to remembering past lives and how they are contributing?
I would say about remembering past life, it's not always that important. It's depending what the person needs to know and why, but your healing journey and what you're here to do and what you came here in order to live your life purpose and um, your joy and knowing, not always that important right now. You will remember at some point when it's in alignment and when you need it, because eventually when we're working multidimensionally, it will happen eventually, but I don't think that have to be the focus. That will come up automatically and naturally to give you the answers when you're ready for them. So sometimes there's more healing to do about this life before this unpack. So I don't focus on the past life right now. It doesn't have to be the key. It will come online when you're ready. Anyway.
That's beautiful, Ron. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's huge, because I think we can innocently think that hypnosis session, the ultimate intention is to get to the past lives. And I've had hypnosis sessions where that in no way, shape, or form was the case. It was just a dance with consciousness, like in various forms, and not a shred of past life anything
Yeah,
arose. And so if that's necessary, it'll come. If it's
yeah,
important and useful, it'll come.
yeah, yeah. The storylines that being created there. Um, it also doesn't. Many time people whatever they see and they experience so real as past life is just a stream from the Akashic records. It's not even theirs. It's just for this, for the learning, just for how it's actually affect how that storyline, what the lesson that they learned there in a way from the Akashic record is similar to something that's going on right now, or opposite, so they will balance something.
Mm,
So it doesn't have to be. Many people don't even think that that's real, that's really their. It doesn't matter. It can be like a healing dream. So it
mhm,
doesn't matter if it's real, if it's not real. It's just the stories, the emotions, the learning that being done from it.
mm. Beautiful. Um, Christina says that many suffer alone. Having a mentor to help guide you and assist with healing and embracing you is so worth it. I wish more people invested in themselves. So I wanted to ask Ron what the role of, have there been chapters in your life where it was essential that you had a particular mentor, that you were under the guidance of one person, or how important do you think that is for people on the healing spiritual journey?
Interesting. Mm, um, the way that I feel like my mentoring, I more was through dance. It actually wasn't through like spiritual life. And I think when I got into my spirituality to this next level,
Mm,
I'm doing it with my partner, Michael,
mm,
that in a way that almost like such a strong mirror and such a strong learning together. There's a lot of this, so it's almost my relationship is mentoring me to this next level. When many people are doing it alone because their partner or they don't have partner that actually would go along with them and help them ground the information and help them to constantly have dialogues about it and da 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 da. So, and also I'm working with a library of information. So Michael is such a, have so much information, and I'm learning so much just from witnessing him and having the dialogues that we have.
mhm.
And you will experience him tomorrow if you're coming to this live. Um, I think I'm seeing how much it's important from um, my the people that come to me to be mentored, because people are going through dramatic changes in their life when they're going on a spiritual path. They might be letting go of many friends, they might be letting go of partnerships or their work, or there's some letting go, there's birthing new things, they're trusting um, their gifts and their. So it's almost like accountability partner. It's
Mm,
it's to cheer them on. It's to help them clear. Like we're doing sessions every time, so it's clearing another level of the guilt and the shame and the fear and the regret and the thing that hold them back from finding their voice and their clarity, or whatever create fogs in their minds of doubt and um, so it's a process. I think it's good because it's gradual, but then it's anchoring it a little bit deeper. It's like it's going a little bit deeper, and then it's a little bit stronger. It's a little bit more refined in a way. Like there's have when they come online, they like, whoa, they're powerful. It's like I when I get to end up the mentorship, they become my best friends. It's like we are, boom, we are the same. We are like my family.
Mm.
I'm always like mentoring from a place of equality, because I know that each one is so wise, and we always also heal together, and what comes to me is also for me to be shown. So I always, it's more like, I feel like my mentoring is like I'm your best friend that also getting paid a little bit, but but I'm becoming your best friend that get a little bit paid for my energy and my time.
Mm.
um, and I just do whatever I can from my heart. It's a little bit like that. It's like we connect heart to heart, and let's drop into it and see what's need to happen here. And we're
Mm.
gonna learn together. We open this channel. We learn together.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I think it's important to find those people that will just like dare to ask you the questions, and will also give you resources that will help you um, find thing that will help you feel confident with your path. So I think it's both. It's asking the questions and giving resources,
Mm.
but then always just being working from the heart. Yeah.
Thank you. That was beautiful. RJ had a question. How does surrendering to your higher power come into this conversation?
Surrendering to your higher power. The first thing that comes to mind is the session that I had yesterday, is when she learned about her power and how much she is afraid of her power right now. Because
Mm.
also the part, we play both parts. We sometimes abuse the power that we have been received, and then we're now learning how to work with it in harmony in this learning curve. So now she was very fearing of her power because
Mm.
of something that happened in the past. um, the earth been through many resets and distractions of civilizations, and so we've been experiencing, and we have those things coming up in our DNA of the depth of the destruction of what happened, and so we're afraid that when we have the power again, which will happen again.
Mm.
Um, so surrendering to the power that we have is trusting that we learned.
Mm.
Again, is when you learn that you trust and that you are centering in your pure heart intention and guidance, um, that you won't abuse the power. I think that's where it comes, when you trust your power and your
Mm.
um, yeah. So it's reaching to, they only, in those different things, the mystery schools, they don't give you the power until you don't prove the purity of your heart, and
Mm.
that they trust the purity of your heart. Then you get your power back. I think that's where we are doing the clearing and the healing, and the
Yeah.
to let go of all those parts of ourselves that still maybe have um, jealousy or revenge, or
Mm.
those are the things that can hold you back from trusting your power.
Mm. Mm. Ron, thank you. RJ, thank you so much for that question. And Ron, RJ just shared that their spiritual journey began last August when I hugged a huge oak tree and super honestly and earnestly surrendered to Mother Nature. That is so
Mm,
beautiful.
thank you. Yeah.
Mm.
Trees are powerful teachers and powerful energies. I had experiences with tree too.
Yeah.
Um, Once I had, yeah, never mind. It's a big story. Different story.
Tell us a nature story.
No,
And
no.
the second part is that all of my for RJ, all of my shadows were quickly revealed after that experience.
Yeah,
Oh, that is gorgeous, gorgeous. Now
yeah.
tell us the story, Ron.
Yes. I went to, I do a lot of traveling on the ley line and sacred sites, and after coming back from Australia, we went next to San Francisco. There's like really big trees. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Um, there's huge trees around that area. Um, And we went to the park, and I saw that one of them was pretty freshly cut, and I was still in um, no, I sat and I meditated there, I remember, not so far from there, but I wasn't maybe present enough to do something about it, to understand what was going on there. Like, I end up moving on and going on to the next. We rented the car and went back to our hometown, 6-hour drive. Like, it was still a day. I was like, just, it was kind of on the path on the way back. And later in another ceremony, suddenly I went back to this in my consciousness, like this, I connected with this tree again. And suddenly I felt all the grief that was coming up from this tree being cut down. And what I was shown is like almost like if it was the chief of a tribe that hold the wisdom died before its time, before he was able to give the wisdom to the other trees. It's like that kind of energy. The tree was holding so much wisdom, so much memory, so much, and wasn't able to fully give it to the next generation. And I was just like, it was so deep, like the amount of grief that I felt. Yeah, so that's the little story.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nicole is sharing that she had to cut down a tree to provide light for a future garden. Nicole hugged and thanked the tree for the beauty and told her, "We need to cut you down." And she felt she was asked to wait a week, and then we left the stump, and I go out there and sit and visit her. Oh, thank
Beautiful. You see, there's a way to do it. There's a way to communicate with nature. We can communicate. They read our minds when we walk in nature, and we can communicate and do it properly in harmony. And there's a way to do to, like you say, even when we do it with the body, with the different parts of ourselves, we can negotiate new way of doing it that is not like, oh, you're bad, you're not okay, you're da, 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 you gotta go. Like, I had many times that I took a part or an aspect, went to the light, restored, went to the healed version, and then it came in to help again. So it's yeah, it's important to do the negotiation and to do it with awareness.
RJ, can you explain what you mean? RJ has a question. Tips on processing premature termination. Do you mean with nature and plants, or do you mean something different? I just want to make sure that your question is
Premature
clear.
termination of, like, do you mean even like pregnancy? That's what that mean? Could be? No, or because I maybe I'll share just about this.
Whatever's there. Yep.
Whatever comes, yeah, whatever. About this, I help friends of, like, we even did it with like spirit that's for pregnancy when we had sessions with few of my friends, and we connected with the soul and we told them that it's not time and that's gonna live, and we negotiated again, and we did kind of, it was after that there was also the physical um, abortion as well that needed to happen to just do the physical process. It's not only that, but there is a way to do it also with communication and negotiate, even with pregnancy. I was speaking with the souls before they came in. I was speaking with the souls after they came in and before they left again. And I will share, for example, with one of my best friend that had that experience with like having the session before abortion. Um, we connected with the soul. We had all this dialogue. She knew that she is living. She was actually saying that she's preferring to live because she know it's not really the time, but this is what she was learning from being in the body and how it's preparing it to the next time that she would come. So, and when she did the abortion, she maybe because of the anesthesia, or I'm not sure, when she was in between round, all her guides came. the girl came as well. They were with her during the abortion, the day after as well, to guide her through it and to know that it's okay.
Mm.
And I can share with you that this friend today have already the baby. We She had some hard time to get to the pregnancy, so we
Mm.
did a session before, and we learned that she just conceived it when we did the session. She just saw the first light of that being, and the baby is now here, and it's really, yeah, it's fun to have some multidimensional ways to receive babies.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Mm.
Beautiful. RJ's following up with, I've lost physical ability. Um, so I wonder if you have anything intuitively in response to that.
Any type of
Sharing.
premature termination. Physical ability. Okay. The only thing that I come to mind is sometimes we think it's premature or we lost something that we cannot do for, and and it's hard because we're focusing on the lost and it feels like something happened that shouldn't have happened. But I believe that there's no accidents,
Mm.
and that there was something, there's another way to look at it, there's another thing to learn why it was happening, what you can gain out of it, what is the redirection that is asking to happen.
Mm.
That there's, and sometimes, I can say, before starting the learning hypnosis, my laptop was stolen. Two of my laptop with all the storage of all my dance things, all the thing of my previous life was literally stolen. And
Wow.
I was like, oh, okay, what do I do now? How do I promote my next workshop? I don't even have a video of me dancing anymore. It's like, how do I? I don't even have pictures. It's like, what's the deal? so, so it really was a rerouting, and I shared with you if you heard in the beginning, how fast everything happened when we did say yes to it. So maybe there's something to say yes to that you're holding back from doing, or that can be actually more of in alignment to your true path. Um, so maybe there's a learning curves, and something I could say, there's that's I shared in the conclusion of my book. I have a book that I published, The Songs of Remembering. I just have it here. You asked me to bring it in, and it's all about shifting the perspective of um, every situation and being able to align to another. Like, reality can look the same, but it can be different events and timeline at the same time, the same meeting point, look the same, but if you're in this frequency, it's going to go on this manifestation, and if you're on this frequency, it's going to look on this. Let's think about harmony of like the notes of the chord, one octave finish and ending on the same note, right? There's a meeting point there. So if you think about any event of your life as a meeting point of those two timelines, you can either stay on this octave and continue playing this melody, or
Mm.
you can change a different octave and start from the bottom of and something else, higher octave, higher,
Mm.
different way of manifestation, that you may be in the beginning of it, but you're starting something completely new. um, so yeah, there's, in the conclusion of the Songs of Remembering, I'm showing another sacred geometry that kind of explain it on. um, I'll show just the god seed, what I call the god seed. It's, I if you can see
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
this. We're talking about this one.
yeah.
So
Got it.
it's almost look like the seed of life, but it's different because you have 9 circles.
Yeah.
And it's just one angle, like the seed of life is one angle from this one. Um, I'm sharing it is just to explain that every situation can look from a different perspective,
Mm.
and if you change the perspective of it, you'll change the outcome.
Mm.
So that's what I wanted to say about that.
Mm. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. That's gold. That's gold.
I think it is gold.
That, that is gold. It's that simple. It doesn't mean it's easy, and yet it is that simple. And we can always look in our lives to find the evidence of that as truthful. I can find that there was a challenging situation in my life, and it took some time to reconcile. And every day almost felt as though I woke up in a different perspective, a different point of view. And the point of view that had me believe uh, something something wrong was done to me. I was the victim, right? I had the worst day. I just had the shittiest day. And then and I would go to sleep, say, please, like, help me, help me, begging with earnestness, and please help me to be in that other inner position and that other vantage point that I know is actually truer. And I would just wake up feeling just wonderful and clear, and it all made perfect sense. And then another day I could wake up, this is terrible, this is awful. So it's really true, and we can use our own lives to find the truthfulness of this. Shift your perspective and everything shifts.
Yeah, yeah. It's just the frequency that you change, and then you're harmonizing in with other things. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let's see. Let's share with friends how they can connect with you and with Michael. One of the ways is in the Divinate paid membership. There are replays of Ron and Michael's incredible guided meditations. They're really more like journeys, and I thought of them when you were sharing with Patty that you don't always
Right.
have to go so deep in your in a meditation to receive tremendous benefit.
Yeah,
And
I think for Patty it would be actually those will give her a really good
yeah,
experience, really to see how those, because we explain very deeply about that,
yeah,
and training and guiding and doing exercises that will help you feel it and trust it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
on the divinate,
They're
yeah,
so incredible. So they're they're on replay, and they're just wonderful. They're all
it's
organized.
called the Quantum Launchpad, right, or something.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Quantum Launchpad series.
yeah,
Ron and Michael also have a Mighty Network community. Tell us the name of that
yeah. It's
community.
called Source Energy. So if you just type source.energy, you'll find the landing page and you can join for free. And then within it, this is our global community. And also within it, we have our school we call the Multiversity. So the Multiversity have two paths that we kind of restructure it just recently, and we just initiated also this with the beginning of the Year of the Dragon, the last new moon.
Mm.
Those two paths that is very exciting because first of all, you'll learn from Michael tomorrow more about that probably, but there's the self-realization path. That's the path where each person is taking time to do this remembering process that you and it's remembering by tapping to healing energies and doing self-healing process, and reflection of um, life, and let's say life and then how it's reflected in your energy body, the light body, the chakras. um, there's practices of breath work and meditation and tools to start to live more devotional life, or just practicing. And when I say devotion, is practicing like focusing on the sacred in what you're doing. And yeah, and it's a most simple thing. It's very simple, but it's require focus and practice. Even if it's practice of gratitude or practice of um, just breathing more deeply and more consciously.
Mm.
Um, so it can start very simple, but it also can go very deeply, and you start to feel the parts that, when there's the busy mind and the monkey mind, it's because of those all those energies of maybe regret or fear or thing that are still kind of not so sure what I want to do, how I'm going to do it, the to-do list. As you do it, those things start to go away, and you can find a bit more quiet and more clarity in your overall mind and your experience in the way you make choices. Um, um,
Mm.
and so he recorded the courses of the self-realization after he published his book. It's called the Illumination Codex. And it's, as you see, it's a big book, but it's also divided to 7 small books. So you can either buy it in a series and just go through the different gateways. You'll see there's 6 different gateways to do this path. Yeah. Thank you so much for typing it into the comments.
Mhm.
Um, so you'll find either a series or like the big book, depending how you like to um, and the courses are really really powerful, and what's important for us is also embodying it. So there's also a group meetings that is to have like a group coaching, and some and the growth coaching is also personal. We're going to see what's going on with your life and do a little process to help you
Yeah.
overcome it. So it's maybe it's a group, but it's very personalized and it can go very deep.
Mm.
um, and also there's the embodiment that I'm bringing now new. It's I was a dancer, as I told you before, and now it's really wanting to come alive again and to bring it more, the balance between all the knowledge and the spiritual realms to the body is so important. I know, Daniela, you're doing a wonderful job of it, like with all the qigong. I see that you're having in divinate also classes and embodiment, and I feel your embodiment is a part of it. I think it's so crucial. It's so important to balance.
It's
um,
it's kind of a one of those things that, our lifestyle over the decades has become more and more sedentary, for lack of a better word, and it takes something to really attend to the physical body. And I don't think of it at all, it's not like exercise, it's not nothing like that, yet all the layers are connected to the physical body. And so it's so important, I think, that we each find a way our body loves being attended to, expressed, nourished with movement. It could be hiking, it could be dance, it could be qigong, it could be anything. And yet that physical layer, it really needs attending to, because we are here to embody the transcendent. We are here. That's it, friends. And
yeah,
so it can take something, if that's the layer of being that has been a little bit put to the back burner. I
yeah,
invite you in this year, friends, to rekindle your enthusiasm with connecting with the body, and allowing it, like, if it means thinking of yourself as like, I have a dog, the dog needs to be walked every day, you need to be walked every day. Start
yeah,
there, start with a daily walk, right? Anything.
right, exactly. And I can say from my own journey as well, because in the last 7 years doing hypnosis warriors, sitting and writing in the book and all, just sitting and writing and all listening to stories and doing all this. And it was incredible rewarding. But I can say that my body got out of balance. And so in the last half a year with the travel and the journeys, I was now suddenly like was reminded, and through going again to the gym and just getting to my body and started to dance again, and all this is just was really showing me the importance of balancing it and never letting it go again to be out of balance again, because we cannot hold that level of light and frequency and clarity if our body is stagnant.
Yep.
We just it's causing more suffering, more pain, um, and it's just really, really important to the sun starting to get really strong. Maybe I'll try to dim a little bit before I'm disappearing into light. Let's see. Opa. Ta-da. Okay, changing a little bit the lighting here.
Perfect. Yeah, thank
Okay.
you. Ron, what is one of this is off topic and yet it's a question I love asking people. What is one of the kindest things another has done for you in your life?
What is the kindest thing that
Yeah,
someone did for me?
yeah, one of the
That's a
kindest,
nice question.
whatever comes to mind, right? I'm sure there's a long list, and yet there's
Wow.
just whatever arises right now. And I really invite everyone that's here right now to just, that question is for you as well. Feel free to share. It's when I ask myself that, different scenes from my life will come up, and
Yeah.
I love refreshing my posture in that,
Mm,
in those memories, in that receiving, because kindness to us is it takes a full surrender into receiving,
mm,
which is very powerful. What's one of the kindest things someone has ever done for you?
mm. The most kind thing. Mm. I think it's I traveled a lot in the world and I was being hosted so many times. People opened their house and
Mm.
just like brought me into their house, and so it happened. Many people did that somehow, because as a dancer and also even just now I'm in a house that I'm being hosted for 2 weeks. We just came back here. Someone said we have our guest house is open, do you want to stay here, you can come for free, da, da, da. So there's a level of openness and welcoming and trusting that so it's not um yeah, it's very, I think it used to be maybe more common in this world. Now that everything is Airbnb, it's not as common that people just inviting guests and open their house, and it doesn't go through Airbnb. It's used to be way more common. I feel like when I grew up as a dancer, it was even more, and now in our shifting world, it's not as common. So I feel like that's so nice. That's a
Yeah.
really beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah,
Thank you. Patty says that makes me emotional to even contemplate what that might be. It's a powerful contemplation, just going back.
yeah.
Stephanie says, someone loved me when I didn't love myself.
Mm,
Incredibly
yeah.
kind.
There might be. I'm sure there's more that are just trying to come up right now. Like, yeah, but it's so nice. It's a great question. I'm gonna sit with it a bit more because it's really helped to
There's
open the heart and to go to a deeper level of it.
there's
Yeah,
no right or wrong, and there are layers, and it's really
yeah,
whatever arises in the moment. It's not like we have
yeah,
to dig around for the bigger kindness. It's not even, there isn't
yeah,
a measure. It's just what touches us.
yeah. At
Um,
this moment, is being hosted.
yeah,
And
yeah.
being,
That's it. At this moment, this is the kindness, the
yeah,
grace that
yeah.
is bestowed in my life. Louise says, after this past 4 years, when someone gives or returns a smile, even strangers can be kind.
Mm, yeah.
Mm. And Patty says, being forgiven when I felt terrible about a mistake. Yeah.
Mm,
One of the memories that arises for me with this question is many years ago, I worked at an organization for domestic violence, the advocacy center. And there was a woman we were heading into the first holiday, and her son had passed the year before. And this was her first holiday season without him. He was 12.
mm,
And my son at the time was 3 and would come to work a lot with me and just took such a liking. The two of these, they just really liked each other. My son always gravitated to her. And, um, and this was okay in my world. What I'll share. It was okay by me. It, I was living check by check as a single mom, and we weren't really going to do the holidays. And I figured he's 3, he's not going to really know. He's not like conditioned into the American tradition of Christmas and all the things. So I said, it's not a problem. We'll do it. We'll make something special. And that came into her awareness. And she said, could I do a holiday for your son? She's could we go to the store? She said, this is the
Mm,
first year I don't get to buy
mm,
some sweet things for her son Rashad. And it was so beautiful. So we went to the store together, and she wanted him to, all the traditions that she did for her son, she passed on to my son. And it was just
mm,
so sweet. It was like things like
mm,
a new bedspread, a new comforter, a new set of
mm,
pajamas, a couple of really nice games, a teeny weeny little Christmas tree. It was like, it was all very thoughtful and
mm,
intentional. And it was just so kind and so and healing. It supported her in her healing journey.
mm.
So that's just the memory that arose with that. It's always a good one.
Beautiful.
That question, I love
It's
receiving.
nice. It's reminding me when you share this, it's reminding me more things that I was receiving and things that had been done to me. So
Oh, tell us another one, Ron. I never
no,
get
that's
tired
just
of
like when you
kindness.
in my it's just that's what came up what
Yeah.
when you shared when I was a dancer, we were in the young company, just moved to Tel Aviv in Israel, and so one of the things that the the man it's the choreographer did for the new people that were just moving there, and we didn't get like a it was very like you don't get a big salary, you're very very in your early, like you're kind of like scratching for like you have a really simple apartment and you're really just going to dance every day, and you take another job to try to make it to the end of the month. And so he was offering to buy bicycles, and I think it was comforters for people that need it or something like that. And just like those really simple gestures that can really means a lot. Having a nice bed and comforter is so important, and having bicycles in Tel Aviv, it's very important. And so those little things, it helps a lot. Yeah,
There's no such thing as little things. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, that is the world that I dream every
yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah.
That world.
Mm, beautiful.
Um, okay, well, friends, Ron, may I take a moment to just share some of the things that are upcoming in Divinate today?
Yes, of course.
Oh,
I also want to say one more sentence after
yes.
about the evolutionary facilitator path on the multiversity, and
Okay.
I think we can be done. So you want to share first?
Yeah, let me just let friends know that are here today. There are two things on the schedule. In Free Divinate, remember, all for the month of February, every morning at 9:30, Kaya Usher offers the 11-minute harmonic resonance daily activation, working with frequencies. And if you can't join live at 9:30 Eastern, the replay is always posted. You can replay it as much as you like. So that's in Free Divinate membership. I'll put the link how you can connect with that. At 1 o'clock, Loy will be live streaming today in the free membership. She'll be live streaming Magical Mindful Monday, a little chat with Loy. She'll be doing card readings and close with a sweet meditation. So that's 1 o'clock live stream in okay, Christopher, could you put that in the chat because that's new on my radar. Um, I know too many texts. I can't follow it. So if you could put that, tell me again what that is. Tracy Trimble is doing something. Okay, so it's free. And then today at 3 o'clock, Laura Whitworth will be continuing her conversation about entities. I really respect and love Laura's approach also with tremendous heart and love, approaching the varying energies that show up in our field of awareness,
Yeah.
and to really attend to that with tremendous love and compassion. So that's 3 o'clock in paid membership. February is first week free in paid membership. So if you're not in paid membership, you have 7 days free. So come on in and check it out. It's $18 a month thereafter. No pressure. There's plenty. I'm just reporting, okay? There's incredible stuff happening in both the free and paid side. All right. So Ron, back to you. Please, we close it out with.
Yeah, I want just also to remind that there's for all the divinate people, there's a 10% to join the multiversity in whatever path you choose. There's the evolutionary path that is for the self-realization, sorry, the self-realization path that's for the self-realization, and the evolutionary facilitator path that's for people who want to learn to become facilitators of it can be energy healing and also all the hypnosis work that we're doing, both the traditional way, that is the longer, very in-depth sessions, and there's also the IQ Edge recalibration that is a little bit, in a way, it's a bit more advanced, but also there's people that are already facilitating. It's just the toolbox that they're needing to take their practice to their next level. So the recalibration sessions are, you learn by basically tuning. There's a lot of also information and esoteric teachings that are, it's not a lot, it's quick to view, to witness, but it's and then there's a lot to witness sessions and to you basically matching frequency and seeing what's possible. You learn from witnessing, seeing many example sessions, um, and attuning yourself to that energy of the facilitator of those sessions, and you're doing the practice. And the way that we change now, the way that we do it is like we work with people so personally that we can feel that when you're ready, and when you see and you did sessions, and when you see that you're doing it good, we're supporting you to be able to see that you're doing it and that you have it dialed in. Then you're being certified and you're continuing in your path. So I want to just let you know that it's very personal. It's your own personal growth. It's you attuning to your new way of, and then you're basically your next level of expression. If that's your heart calling to do this work, it's your next level, and we're up leveling every time a bit more.
Hang on, Ron, one moment.
Yeah.
Christopher, if you could go into our email inbox and pull those links and coupon codes to put in the comments, that would be amazing for what Ron's talking about. Patty, those website and link will be up soon with the Divinate discount.
In the Divinate, it's going to be probably in the courses sections where the information. So yeah, you'll have a link there for the self-realization path is just enrollment, and you have it with a link with a discount through Divinate. It's 10% discount, and the evolutionary path is only by application. We ask to send a video, just kind of sharing about yourself a little bit, and there's sometimes we do a quick interview, kind of to check in, to see. It's more to guide you how to do it, and to check that it's fit for all. So yeah, check it out. And if you're wanting to join those paths, join this family and connect with us in a deeper way.
Ron, thank you. I'm so honored to get to learn with you and Michael. Thank you for continually being in your own curriculum of healing and learning and growing and evolving. And thank you both for your service to humanity.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Daniela, for holding the space, inviting us to be part of it. It feels so nice to collaborate and to connect with everybody that's watching. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for those of you that joined us live. Thank you for those enjoying the replay. And
all the team, Christopher here, thank you, and Laura for all that she's creating here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you. May you have, Laura, yet another beautiful day. Everyone send your intentions that Laura gets to enjoy the well-deserved rest and rejuvenation and sun and ocean. And just everyone sending good love and vibes to her. And may everyone here feel happy and healthy and peaceful and free.
Yeah. Thank you
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. We'll be back tomorrow with Michael of New Earth Ascending.
Nice.
See you all soon. Bye, friends. Enjoy this precious day.